Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's video is going to be about learning, and as you might remember, some time ago I promised you to share some memorization techniques that work really well. So today's video is about them. Number 1. Link it. When you're trying to memorize new information, you should connect it to something you already know, because material in isolation is really difficult to remember. Let's say you're trying to memorize that the First World War started in 1914, and it's very difficult for you to memorize this year, but then you remember that your friend's phone number finishes or starts with these numbers, so you can link these two things and try to imagine that I know you're shooting at your friend's phone. I mean, it's a crazy connection, but it really might help. If you cannot think of any way to connect the information you want to remember to something you already know, then make some crazy connections. Number 2, visualize it. So when you're learning some new words, it's a really good idea to connect them to some images that you already have in your mind. For example, if you're trying to memorize the word casa in Spanish, then try imagining a house. This technique will help you to link this new word to a mental representation that you already have in your mind. And so in this way you make it more relevant and more memorable. If you are trying to learn something abstract or something that is very difficult to visualize, then you need to convert it to something familiar by, for example, making up a new word and thinking of some images. Well, let's take the word claustrophobia, which is a fear of tight spaces. So it's not a regular word such as a car or an apple, so it's very difficult to visualize it. And what you have to do is to break it down phonetically and transform it to something more familiar. So when I say claustrophobia, the words that come to my mind are Klaus, as in Santa Claus, and phobia, which is a really common word in many languages. So I then will link these two words together and imagine Santa Claus stuck in a really tight chimney. So as you see, it's really easy, and every time I want to remember the word claustrophobia, I'll have this image in my mind. And finally, number 3, apply the keyword method. So here I'm going to illustrate my personal example where I was trying to learn the Spanish word sobaco, which means an armpit in English. So it was really hard for me to memorize this word, and I couldn't do it for a very long time. And now I'm going to show you how I finally did it. So to memorize the word sobaco, I first pronounce it, sobaco. And then I think if there is a similar word in any languages I speak fluently. I couldn't find any words in English, but I found one word in Russian, and it's собака, which means a dog. So this Russian word became my keyword. Finally, I needed to create an image in my mind and visually connect the keyword and its meaning. And so I imagined a dog spraying its armpits with some deodorant. And I know it's a crazy connection and a crazy image, but every time I heard the word sobaco in Spanish, it triggered this image of a dog applying some deodorant, and I remembered that sobaco means an armpit. Anyway, I think it's a great and fun technique, and if you want to use it, just remember that your keyword should be acoustically similar and easy to visualize. Anyway, let me tell you that you don't have to try to find some connections or use images and visualization to learn any and every word in your target language, because there are many words that you will learn in different ways. But I really recommend these techniques for some words that you're having trouble remembering and some words that are really difficult to learn. Try using some of these techniques and you'll see how helpful they are. And if you know some other techniques, then leave them in the comments below, and I hope someone will find them useful. So if you like this video, then give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching it, and see you next Tuesday. Bye!